The golden child's greatest performance, my sister, Chloe, was a master of the grand gesture. She lived her life as if a film crew were constantly documenting her success, draped in designer labels and radiating an aura of effortless superiority. I, Mark, was the brother who lived in the real world, running a landscaping and small-scale construction business that left me with dirt under my fingernails and a modest truck in the driveway. At my father Arthur's 70th birthday dinner, Chloe was in rare form. She had booked the most expensive steakhouse in the city, ordered vintage champagne for 20 people, and spent the entire evening acting like the sole provider for our aging father. I sat quietly at the end of the table, the unreliable sun in their eyes, watching her perform. But beneath the clinking of crystal, I felt a deep, vibrating sense of dread. The toast that changed everything, the climax of the night, came just as the servers brought out a massive, 3-tier chocolate cake. Chloe stood up, her diamonds catching the candlelight, and raised her glass for a toast that would reverberate through our family forever. "I've realized that Dad shouldn't have to worry about the stresses of the world anymore," she announced, her voice honeyed with fake compassion. "So, as a birthday gift to him and a relief to all of you, I've officially taken full access to his bank accounts and investments. I'm handling everything now." She looked at me with a triumphant smirk, as if she had finally won the invisible war for Dad's favor. The moment the mask slipped the room broke into polite applause. But I wasn't looking at Chloe. I was looking at Dad. His reaction was a physical blow to the festive atmosphere. He was mid-bite, his fork halfway to his mouth, when he froze. His hand began to shake so violently that the silver fork clattered against the fine china, and the cake nearly slid onto his expensive suit. He didn't look like a man who felt protected. He looked like a man who had just realized his life support was being switched off. His eyes darted to mine, filled with a raw, primal terror that Chloe was too self-absorbed to notice. The silent guardian secret, what Chloe didn't know, and what Dad had forgotten in his aging confusion, was that I wasn't as clueless as I pretended to be. 3 months earlier, Dad had complained about his computer acting funny, and while I was fixing it, I noticed several unauthorized administrative fees on his banking portal. Without telling anyone, I had installed a high-level monitoring app on his phone and linked a read-only alert system to my own device. As Chloe continued her arrogant toast, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I didn't need to look at it to know what it said. Another $10,000 had just been transferred out of Dad's retirement fund. The digital crime scene, I excused myself from the table, my heart hammering against my ribs, and went to the quiet hallway near the restrooms. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through the last 90 days of transactions. It was a bloodbath. Chloe had been handling his bills. She had been liquidating his 40 years of hard work to fund her failing lifestyle brand and pay off a mountain of secret credit card debt. She had even initiated a home equity line of credit on the family house, the house our mother had died in, using a forged digital signature. The golden child was a common thief, and she was celebrating her heist right in front of her victim. The bathroom confrontation, I walked back into the dining room, but I didn't go to my seat. I walked straight to Chloe, who was laughing with our Aunt Martha. I leaned in, my voice a low, lethal whisper that stayed beneath the restaurant's music. "I see the transfers to the Lux Life holding company, Chloe. I see the $50,000 you moved this morning. If you don't stop this performance and follow me to the parking lot right now, I'm calling the fraud department before the candles on that cake go out." Her face went from a healthy glow to a sickly, pale gray in less than a second. The parking lot showdown outside, away from the prying eyes of the family, Chloe's sophistication evaporated into pure, ugly desperation. She didn't deny it. She tried to justify it. "You don't understand how much pressure I'm under, Mark. I'm the face of this family. I have to maintain a certain image for the sake of the firm," she screamed. She actually had the nerve to argue that stealing Dad's money was a business investment that would eventually benefit all of us. I looked at her and realized she wasn't just greedy. She was delusional. She had spent so long pretending to be successful that she felt entitled to money I had watched Dad sweat for since I was a child. The judge and the jury, we returned to house after the dinner. The air in the car thick with a suffocating silence. Dad was sitting in his favorite armchair, looking older than his 70 years. I sat him down and, with a calm I didn't know I possessed, laid out the digital evidence on his tablet. I showed him the transfers, the forged signatures, and the looming mortgage on his home. Chloe stood in the corner, sobbing and trying to hug him. But for the first time in his life, Arthur pushed his favorite child away. "You didn't wait for me to die, Chloe," he said, his voice breaking. "You decided to bury me while I was still at the table." The ultimate strategic reversal. Chloe thought she was the only one who knew how to play the game, but she had underestimated the worker bee. Because I had flagged the accounts weeks ago, I had already been in contact with a forensic accountant friend. I had a repayment and resignation contract ready on my laptop before we even left the restaurant. I told her she had two choices. She could sign over her own trust fund to replenish Dad's savings and move out of the state, or I would hand the police the folder of forged documents I had compiled. The choice was her total social and financial ruin, or a quiet, shameful exit. The fall of the sun she signed. The golden child left that night with 2 suitcases and a reputation that would never recover within our family circle. The fallout was massive. Aunts and uncles who once looked down on me now called to apologize, realizing that the simple brother was the only thing standing between Dad and the street. I took over the management of Dad's estate, not with a public toast, but with a series of encrypted passwords and a promise that he would never have to worry about a change order again. The reclaimed legacy over the next year, Dad and I worked together to rebuild. We couldn't get every dollar back, but we saved the house and secured his medical care. He started coming to my job sites, watching me work, and for the first time he saw the vision in what I did. He realized that a firm foundation isn't built with champagne and designer suits. It's built with integrity, vigilance, and the kind of love that doesn't need to brag. Chloe is a ghost now, a name we don't mention. While I am no longer just a son who mows the lawn, I am the man who saved the family.